Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty. I am here with a hop for the Iron Crafter Challenge where we are challenged to use a specific supply, often a very underutilized supply from our stash, and create a layout. And today's challenge item is metal embellishments. And I was wondering where I would go with this, so let's see what I did. All right, I did have to go to my embellishments and find metals. Now I thought I had a few charms and things like that, but mostly I have paperclip style metal embellishments. Although in here I found some like hat pins and there's definitely some fun shaped paper clips. I did find one little charm in there, so I will make use of that. And how I'm gonna do that is I grabbed my counterfeit kit, which is another project that I'm involved in, and I'm gonna hang that charm off of this dangly tassel banner. So I have these elements that I need to put on a page. I had to go to my story binder and grab some photos that would fit with these elements, which I usually start with the story first, but when you have an embellishment challenge, you got to start with the embellishment first. So I am sorting through my counterfeit kit, and I do my own kit builds. If you don't know what that is, I will link you up to my kit build. And I know some of the other ladies who participate in Iron Crafter also are over at the Counterfeit Kit Challenge. So you probably will hear about that from them as well at some point if you follow their channels. And be sure to check out all the hoppers on this hop so that you can see everybody's ideas. Now, as I've been chit-chatting, I have pulled out several different styles of paper clips. I have some heart shapes. I have an XO shape. And because my little title piece there, which is from Vicki Boutin, says "Loving This Life," I'm going to alter that title a little bit as we go, but the hearts and the XO definitely fit for this layout, so I will make use of those embellishments, as well as you'll see how I take some other metal ideas and step them up a little bit throughout the video. All right, I have the kind of the bones of my layout here with a split page design, and I'm putting a little belly band across there to divide up those areas so that the top section can really display that happy, cheerful banner, because this is a layout about me celebrating a YouTube goal that I met last year, actually, but I haven't scrapped it yet, so I am scrapping it today. Now, I have that little charm there, which is a silver metal, and I'm going to spruce that up a little bit with a sparkly enamel dot just to give it some pizzazz. And all my paper clips are in the gold range. So I am going to later in the video pull in some more metals that will bring more silver into it, because if I just have one item that doesn't match, it does look like an oddball. But if I sprinkle in other elements that are the same color, then it feels more cohesive. So I will bring in both the gold and the silver and make a mixed metal layout here. All right, because I am putting those little XO paper clips on my belly band, and that would cause the belly band to warp and wrinkle, I'm going to go ahead and pop it up and give those metal embellishments plenty of room to sit there. And I will fuss around with photo placement and such as I go, because I thought I wanted those photos to sit across the belly band. But the last couple of layouts I've done with that style, I've put too much stuff there and kind of lost my belly band. So I am going to keep those photos down below. Now, this is where I am altering that title. I pulled out another alphabet set in a small font, and I spelled YouTube down there. Now this little V, I'm going to turn into, I don't know what to call it necessarily, but it's used a lot in text editing, the realm of actual editors, to incorporate more information into the sentence. So that little V is going to act to make the title read, "Loving This YouTube Life." So that will get that all in there. And I have to carefully glue that V and spread it and glue it so that it will make that specific shape that I'm looking for. All right, as I was telling you about that, I did die cut out some circles from some more paper from my kit so that I could incorporate circles. They kind of remind me of confetti, which is celebratory. So that is why I'm going with some circles on this layout. And it also gives me a good space to write my journaling. Now, you'll see later how I didn't have quite enough space for my journaling. Oh, but here I am going back to that V, and this is where I have to put some glue down on the page and kind of spread that V wide-legged so that it makes more of the shape to kind of funnel all of that lower text up into the rest of my title. And of course, I've got to hold the glue in place while it glues down. And because I had popped up that first part of the title, I couldn't like set a heavy block on it like I usually do when I'm waiting for glue to dry. So with that done, I can move on to some other elements. Now I do want my banner up there to dangle, so I will lift the page up and let it drop. And I am careful about that charm because it is heavier than everything else. It will kind of create a peak into my dangle, so I will kind of release the pressure on that peak. And then I'm going to use a foam dot to hold, a foam square to hold that in place so that it kind of pops up off the page a little bit. And then with other metal embellishments, if you ever have a hard time getting them to stick down, you can use liquid glue in a lot of cases, but I really do prefer these glue dots. There we go. It is the Glue Dot brand, and it's the kind of tacky dots that you can peel off the carrier sheet and use to glue right away. And they have an instant stick and a pretty strong stick, so they work nicely for gluing on metal embellishments. Now, I will dust a powder tool on them a little bit later because sometimes that sticky will peek around the edges of thin metals like paper clips, and that dusting it with a cornstarch or, you know, an embossing buddy kind of tool will remove all that stick. All right, well, I told you about that. I have got my journaling down here and it's not enough room. So I have more to say about this layout because not only is it the story about me hitting this milestone, but a lot of kind of the emotional journey behind starting my YouTube channel, which was an effort for me to have something to do as I am approaching retiring from being a full-time stay-at-home homeschooling parent. I've never had a career. It was something I expected to have. I went to college thinking that I would go into the medical field, and it just didn't work out that way. I ended up staying at home with my kids, partially because I had started teaching daycare instead of going into the medical field, and I did not like the idea of paying somebody else to watch my kids while I watch somebody else's kids. So it just didn't make any sense to me. And so I ended up not only staying home with my kids, but then we decided to homeschool as well. And so having never had a career, starting this YouTube channel has been not only skill building, but confidence building. And so I have all that emotional story to say. If you want to read the journaling, I will give you a close-up of that a little bit later. But while I was chatting about that, I should have slowed down a little bit there. I formed a very thin wire into a word, and I just used my fingers to fold the metal into the shape of words, much like I would in cursive. And up here, I'm also folding the wire into the shape of a little banner, just because I could. Wanted to play around a little bit more with this metal wire, and I was having fun. And so while that banner really isn't necessary to this layout, it was fun. And it's another idea for using metal if you don't feel like you can do cursive with some wire. But if you have some wire around, I suggest playing with it. And that's another fun metal technique and tip. And so I did staple that word onto my layout because trying to glue that down, it's very thin. It would be, pardon me, it would be difficult to do. And staples are their own metal embellishment. So if you've got a stapler, you can take part in this challenge, of which the link to the group is down below, and they are very open to having you come join in the group. And even if you are a YouTuber or Instagrammer even, you can share in our hops as well. Very open, friendly group. So I recommend heading over there and checking that out. So as I've been chit-chatting some more, I am finishing up a little bit of embellishing on here. My counterfeit kit had lots of partial packages of embellishments that I've been trying to use up. Pardon my voice. I think I need a drink of water. So I am tucking on a whole bunch of little bits and pieces to this layout to try and get these embellishments used up, and doing a little bit of color matching with these embellishments as I go so that they don't feel overwhelmingly full of embellishments, but texturally full of embellishments so that it provides interest without overwhelm. And hopefully I've accomplished that. For me, it's working. I know some people are, down with fewer embellishments than what I do, and that's okay. Go check out the other hoppers and you might see your style represented a little bit better. At any rate, that finishes off my layout for this time around. I do hope you got something useful or interesting out of this video. I thank you so much for being here and for watching. And if you're hopping over from someone else's channel, I hope you've found enough goodness here to consider subscribing. I would love to have you and share more goodness with you in the future. And to all of my long-term subscribers, thank you for continuing to be here and watching my videos, because without you, there'd be no reason for me to have a channel. So thank you. And with that, I will say I will be back. Oh, I have 2 videos coming out today. I almost forgot about that. So check out the second video today, and I'll be back next week with more videos. Until then, have an artful day.